Hi everyone, it's Jill here. Welcome to this class. This is going to be a 20 minutes seated and standing balance Pilates class. It's going to be working your upper body particularly. We're going to do some leg work and then some balance. To get started, just find yourself a nice comfortable chair to sit on. Make sure it's quite sturdy for you to be able to do your exercise on. You might want to have your water to hand as well. And then just grab your resistance band. So we're going to be working with our resistance band today as well. Brilliant. So let's get started. So put your band down just for a moment. We're going to pick that up in a moment. So from here, sit up nice and tall. So think about your posture always, if you're seated or standing. Equal weight into your feet, coming all the way back onto your chair. And then with your legs nice and aligned, still in hip distance, still your feet parallel. Start to think about your tailbone. So pushing down on your tailbone and then drawing up through your back. And imagine that golden threads coming out the crown of your head still. So really reaching up all the way through your spine, your neck, sitting nice and tall. As it's Pilates, we want to start to engage still our core, even though we're seated, we want to engage our core muscles. So on the breath, start to just take it to a gentle engagement of your core muscles. So start to feel them activate and try to keep that activation throughout this class if you can. From here, we'll start just working with a little bit of mobility for our neck and our shoulders before we pick up the band. So keep your chin nice and level. And then from here, we start to just turn our head over to the right on the breath. And then exhale, returning all the way back to center. And then inhale, exhale, return to the left. So just feeling that stretch all the way through your neck, soften the jaw. Exhale, coming back to center. Inhale, exhale, going all the way over to the right. Exhale, come back to center. And then once more, we turn over to the left. Just feeling the stretch. And come back to center. From here, just take your chin, start to take your chin down towards your chest, so feel that stretch in the back of your neck. And then exhale, start to lift your chin up, looking up towards the sky. Try not to squeeze too far back on your vertebrae. Inhale, start to take your head back down, chin to chest. And then exhale, reaching your chin up towards the sky. And bring your head back to center. Take your arms down by your sides. Allow your hands just to hang for a moment, really drawing them down. And we start to lift the shoulders up. So we'll just do some shoulder circles, 5 going back. Keeping nice big round circles, find mobility into your shoulders before we start working with the band to give us that strength. And then 5 forward. So we're going to be building some strength into our upper body using the band. 2 more. And bring your hands back down by your side. Taking hold of your band, make sure you try to keep it as flat as you can. And just finding a little bit of resistance. Have your knuckles facing up towards the ceiling. And just put your hands for a moment just onto your knees. Stay seated nice and tall. Get some resistance in your band, maybe 10 or 20% resistance. Have a little bit of tension going on. And from here, inhale, exhale, take it up to shoulder height. Coming back down to your knees. And then inhale, exhale, take it overhead. So reaching all the way through your body, feel that stretch. Trying to keep your elbows in line with your ear if you can. So keep drawing up into your hands over the crown of your head. And keep lifting tall through your spine. Breathing deep into your ribs. And exhale, we come back down. Once more, inhale, really lifting up. Coming all the way over the crown of your head. Keep reaching tall. And exhale, release back down. And then this time, taking your hands further away. Still have about a bit of tension going on with your band, so take them just slightly further out. Keeping them in line with your knees. Make sure your band's nice and level. From here, inhale, we're doing the lift up high, still taking it overhead, feeling that resistance in your band. Trying to keep that core, your center nice and engaged. Don't push your pelvis forward. And we pulse out for 10. So keep it steady. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2, and one more, and 1. Come back down. Give your shoulders a bit of a shake out, and we'll do one more set. So again, keeping that tension on your bands, lifting up to a wide V. Try to find that alignment. And when you're ready, we start to pull it out to the sides for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2, and one more. 1, brilliant. And come back down. Beautiful. Roll your shoulders. So really feel where you've started to work your shoulders. On the next breath, we're going to start to come up again, tapping into that big V. If you need to bend your elbows at any point, feel free to do so. Otherwise, try to keep them extended. We're going to take we're going to go down to the sides. On the breath, we start to tip our hip down towards the right. So just stretching through the opposite side. Inhale, exhale, come to the center. Going over to the left. So really stretching through the side. Keep that tension on your band. Exhale, release, back to center. Let's do that 2 more times. Over to the right, really feeling that stretch. And come back to center. And then over to the left. So again, breathing deep into your rib cage. Trying to keep that arm straight. And come back to center. And then start to bring your arms down. And then just give them a shake. Probably starting to feel where you've been working your arms. We've got one more to do for our shoulders and our arms. So when you're ready, start to lift up, taking it over your head this time, if you're able to do that. Try not to tip your head forward. Try to keep your head in that alignment. So really squeeze your shoulder blades together, bend your elbows. Your hands can be facing up towards the sky. So we're going to be working our back muscles. We call them the lats, latissimus dorsi. From here, we start to take our arms up. So stretching up. And then inhale, exhale, bend those elbows. Keep bending them down. Go as far as you can. We're going to do 6 more. Inhale, reach up on the exhale. And then bend those elbows. So keep squeezing your shoulder blades together. So really starting to activate and fire up some of your back muscles. Keep pushing those elbows down. 3 more. Reach up, extend long. Come back down. And 2 more. Reach up long. Come back down. Lovely. 1 to go. Reach up. And then come back down. Beautiful. Turn your bands back to your knees. And then just release it for a moment. So just shaking out your arms. You may want to lift your right arm up and extend long. Bending your elbow. If you can see if you can pat yourself on the back and just put your opposite arm and just push back onto that tricep here. Just reaching back, just feeling that stretch where we've just worked. Take a couple of breaths here. And slowly release. And then taking the left arm, extend long, reaching up. And start to pat your back. So holding on, trying to take that elbows back as far as you can. And then again, taking the opposite arm just to pull back up and down. And if you can, try to keep your chin lifted and your gaze forward. So feeling that stretch through that tricep. Beautiful. And then release. So we're going to move to doing some work onto our legs, so activating through our legs. Before we take the band once more, just look down to your feet. Making sure you're sitting well back into your chair. So sitting again nice and tall. Make sure we haven't all collapsed, so sitting nice and tall. Pushing equal weight back into your feet. Make sure they're nice and parallel. Knees in line with your ankles and your toes. So finding that connection once more. And also then start to engage those core muscles. So you want about that 20 or 30% engagement in your belly. We'll start with just lifting our heels. So we push onto the right foot, inhale, exhale, come down and push onto the left. So starting to activate, keep going through the ankles, the calves, we're getting a stretch and working a little bit into your knees. So keep pushing into the floor as we do alternates. Keep push and push. So really feeling the activation and trying to stretch out your toes, releasing tightness in the ankles. And if you're comfortable doing alternates, feel free to come up a level and just do both together. So it's push and release. Let's do 4 more. Push and release. Push and release. Push once more, really push into your floor and release. 2 more. Pushing and release. And then 1 more. Inhale, push and release. Beautiful. Now take your band, tipping over your chair, finding your right foot, put the band nice and flat around that and make sure you have equal distance in your band to be able to hold it. So we're going to start working and build some strength into our hip flexors, into our knee and into our leg. So sitting up nice and tall once more, pushing the left foot slightly into the ground to help balance. We start to draw up that knee and we can use the band to kind of give us a bit of resistance. So we can lift up and lower. Inhale, exhale, lift up and then lower. So the challenge now is to try and lift a little bit higher than the hip to try and really fire up our hip flexors. Keeping them nice and strong. We need them to walk, move efficiently. So really feeling that as we lift and lower. And you can decide how much tension you want on. Probably got about 20 or 30%. So I'm pulling a little bit as I come up and almost holding that a little bit. So you can also work when you go down. So you can decide how much resistance you want on. Try and do 2 more. Feeling that activation. And 1 more. Beautiful. Come back down. Staying on the same leg. We're now going to try to extend that leg. So the heel's coming onto the floor in front. You might want to adjust your position slightly, just so you find that you're not digging into underneath, your chair's not digging in too much underneath your leg. And again, sitting up nice and tall, reset your posture and alignment. Keep pushing down into your right foot and we start to extend that leg, trying to bring it up to hip height, and then exhale, bend down to the floor. So inhale, extend up to hip height, again, giving it a bit of resistance on that band. Exhale, come down. Inhale, extend long. So really feeling that activation and come back down. 2 more. So really reaching up, extend long. Come back down, bend as you come. And then 2 more. So reach long. And bend back in. And once more, reaching really long, extend long, and come back down. Beautiful. We move on to the other leg. So this time, just put the band on the floor. Your left leg can jump inside. And putting your right foot onto the floor to find that activation. Make sure we're nice and stable once more. And again, make sure we haven't collapsed through our posture. So push the tailbone into your chair and sitting up nice and long. Once more, shoulders up and back. From here, we start with that knee lift. So we knee lift up, so keeping the knee bent, and exhale, come back. Trying to keep the knee in alignment over the ankle and in line with your foot too. Use your breath and try not to pull too much on your shoulders. So your band's there to give resistance, but you don't want to be putting too much tension on your shoulders as you knee lift up and lower back down. I'm having more challenge to try and keep my knee in alignment to my ankle on this foot. Hence why I'm having a bit of a focus point there. Using my breath to help that movement. And again, if you can, try to lift that knee a little bit higher. So finding the activation into your hip flexors. Doing a couple more. Knee lift up and lower back down. So really feeling them start to fire up in your hip. And lower back down. Beautiful. Take a breath, and as you do, start to then draw that leg away from you, putting the heel on the floor. And again, make sure you're sitting nice and tall. It feels quite comfortable. When you're ready, we start to extend that leg long. Use the band to help, trying to take it up to hip height. And then bend the leg back in, coming back down. Inhale, exhale, extend long. So really feeling that stretch and activation all the way through your thigh. And come back down. Keep that going for a few more, 4 more. And come back down. Inhale, exhale, extend long. Coming back down. And let's do a couple more. Extend long. Coming back down. And then once more, inhale, extend long. And then come back down. Beautiful. Start to release your band and give your shoulders a bit of a shake out if you need to, where you've been putting tension on your band. Start to come off your chair. So now I want you to turn your chair around so you're on the back of your chair. So you need to be able to hold on to it with your balance. I'll just get rid of that cushion. So this chair here, I'm just going to turn it around just so I can hold on to it for the balance, okay? So it's there if I need it, really. So again, working with our band now. Taking the band down. I'm just going to turn the chair this way so you can do this side first. You see, so going on to the right. So have on the right and make sure your chair's on the right. Get that band as flat as you can and stand on that band. Again, let's now work on our balance and our alignment a little bit. So doing checking in, making sure our hips are nice and parallel. Our feet are parallel and aligned, and we're drawing up through our centre for our core. Shoulders are up and back and the neck's nice and long. We can put it in, we can keep it either into the right hand or we can put it into the left hand so we can hold the chair. And this time we're going to kick it out. So keep the leg straight and you're going to kick it out forward. Exhale, come back to centre. Kick forward. Trying to keep the knees straight, coming back to centre. Try not to tip as you do this. So keep pushing your stabilising leg into the floor as we kick forward and back. Really working again our leg strength and our movements of our pendulum swing. Trying not to tip. I do tip a little bit, so I'm still having to work at my strength too in my hip flexors. Try and do 2 more. Forward. And then 1 more. Come back down. Shake it out. We're now going to take that back. So make sure we stand tall once more. Try not to push your pelvis forward. So keeping your nice neutral spine. Standing tall, we start to kick back. We want the foot to be trying to still coming forward. So you kick back with your heel, lead forward with your toes. So kick back. So feeling your activation into your bottom and maybe a little bit into your lower back. Stay standing tall if you can. And keep pushing down into your stabilising leg. Let's try and do 4 more. If you want to challenge yourself, try to release from chair and see if you can do it without the chair. The chair can be there just to steady yourself if you need it. Always good to do. 2 more on this side. Keep pushing down. Don't watch me wobble. And 1 more. And come back down. Brilliant. Just shaking that leg out. And then we're going to turn the chair around, taking it over to the other side. Get it set up, make sure it's nice and steady. Make sure you then change your foot onto the left. And again, the band can be in your right. So standing tall, the chair's there again to help. If you need it, we can start to extend that leg forward and we come back down. Inhale, we reach up, so extend forward and come back down. So we're really trying to make sure we stay lifted through our rib cage. So again, I'm still struggling to do this, yeah? It's quite a challenging exercise to do, to kick forward without trying to tip, but we want to build strength into the right muscles. Inhale, exhale, kick forward. The band can help to keep everything straight and aligned. Let's do 3 more. Inhale, exhale, let's extend. 2 more. We've got this. Inhale, exhale, extend. And then 1 more. Keep that breath flow going. Beautiful. Come back down. Make sure your feet are still parallel. Have a little look down to check. And again, engage your centre and we start that kick back. So again, we kick back, leading with the heel, coming back with your toes. Again, have the chair there for that balance, keeping nice and long for your spine. Or you can try to do it without. Again, keeping nice and tall. So we're really lifting up through our rib cage, and we're not tipping if we can help it. So it's leading back and forward. Let's try and do 4 more. Last exercise. Inhale, exhale, reach back and come back. 2 more. Oh, I'm wobbling a bit there. And 1 more. And come back down. Beautiful. Release the band. So we're done with our legs and our arms. We're just going to do a little back stretch. We usually do roll down. If you've got your chair, I'll show you sideways on, so you can see. But we can start to just do what we call a spine stretch forward. So face your chair, making sure you've got the back there if you need it. You don't have to use the chair for a spine stretch, but you may want to. Holding on to your pelvis or your legs or the tops of your thighs, we start to bend forward. So it's like a hinging from the hips, bending all the way forward. You can then hold on to your chair, and that can help that stretch into your hamstrings all the way through your back. If you want to deepen that stretch, you can maybe step back with your feet, but trying to keep your spine, you can see my spine, nice and long. So keep it looking down, gazing down, and keep drawing your tailbone, your bottom back, and try to push forward with your hands. So really stretching through your back. Again, listen to your back and your spine. Keep breathing into that. You probably don't spend enough time still in life stretching and releasing. At any time, feel free to come out, but try a couple more breaths. And then soften those knees. Step in if you've stepped out, and use the chair if you need to, just to come back up, roll back up. Beautiful. So that's a short class for you today. Just to finish off, take your arms out wide, stretch overhead. Really reach, hands can come together. Inhale, exhale, reach them down to the side. Once more, inhale, take the hands wide, really reaching up and over the crown of your head. Bringing your hands down in front of you. And I'd just like to thank you for joining me for this short, seated and standing, both strength, balance, and some flexibility thrown in for good measure session. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you back in class soon. Bye.